What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. I have some interesting news for you today. An article came out yesterday regarding the Raptors and the NBA Draft Combine. The Raptors interviewed two players who are expected to go in the top 10, one of them being Scottie Barnes and the other being Keon Johnson. Now, what does this mean for the Raptors? Why would they interview these two particular players? Well, I'll break all of that down in just a moment, but if you could do me a little favor, give this video a thumbs up as it helps reach more basketball fans like yourself across YouTube. And if you could hit that subscribe button as well, it greatly helps this channel grow. With that being said, guys, let's get into today's video. So Keon Johnson, who is actually expected to go in the 7 to 10 range, I don't think the Raptors take him with that fourth pick. Bobby Webster, when he was interviewed post NBA draft lottery, did hint at the fact that there are a few players they have already booked for workouts and interviews, and the Raptors, who had a really good chance of landing in the 7 to 8 spot, I think that is why they spoke to Keon Johnson, and you could see why. As I've posted below, he is a freak of nature when it comes to his athletic ability, and I actually talked about Keon Johnson several months ago about how athletic he is and how people are already talking about him being in the NBA dunk contest next season. Now, Keon Johnson posted an insane 48-inch vertical jump, which is the absolute highest of any player in the combine. So as you see there, he broke the record by 2.5 inches. He is an absolute crazy athletic player. But realistically speaking, I don't see the Raptors taking Keon Johnson with the number 4 pick. There's obviously players that are way better than him they can take at that spot. I think the Raptors were just doing their due diligence. Unless something happens where they acquire maybe another first-round pick, I just don't see that happening. So Keon Johnson, I think, was just one of those players they were pre-booked to interview. So I don't think that is a huge deal. But moving on to Scottie Barnes here. Now, this is a little bit interesting because once the Raptors landed that fourth pick, most of us had a few names in mind regarding that fourth overall pick and who the Raptors should choose. We had Jalen Suggs, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, but a few reporters actually came out and suggested names we could take, including those guys are Jonathan Kuminga, and Scottie Barnes' names keeps coming up in the top 4, top 5. He's actually seen his stock rise quite a bit lately. Scottie Barnes is a very smart, high IQ defensive player, so I could definitely see the Raptors interviewing him. As I've mentioned, they were expected to go lower in the draft, but could they actually take Scottie Barnes in that fourth spot? Now, I don't necessarily see that happening unless maybe the Raptors move back 1 or 2 spots in the NBA draft. But still, Scottie Barnes is a really intriguing player, and I can see why the Raptors wanted to interview him. As you see his statistics at the bottom of the screen. So for those who are unfamiliar with him, Scottie Barnes is a great defensive player. He's 6'9", 227 pounds. And believe it or not, most likely you would think he's a power forward, but he played the point guard position with Florida State, meaning he's a great passer. His numbers don't necessarily indicate that. He's only averaged 4.1 assists, but he's a great passer. He's also a great defensive player as well. I've seen some of his highlights. He's guarding guys like point guards out there like Cade Cunningham. He's guarding shooting guards. He's guarding small forwards. He's even guarding power forwards. So he's guarding 1 to 4, and he can, some situations, he can even guard centers as well. So that is why I think the Raptors took a key interest in Scottie Barnes. Now, as I've mentioned, I don't necessarily see the Raptors taking Scottie Barnes with that number 4th pick. That would just be absolutely insane, and I think us fans would just blow up the internet if that happened. But he is a really intriguing player, and I could see why the Raptors interviewed him. And they weren't the only team to interview him. The Pistons interviewed him as well. So I think it's just some teams doing their due diligence. I don't necessarily see Scottie Barnes jumping into the top 4 spot, but it's always fun to talk about this, seeing who the Raptors are interviewing, who they had their eyes on. And it's funny they interview these two players because I actually dropped a video about, I think, 2 months ago now, and I actually suggested 5 players the Raptors could take. Keon Johnson and Scottie Barnes were both on that list of the 5 players. So it's funny to see the Raptors interviewing players I mentioned several months ago. But that is the 2 players they interviewed. But I don't see the Raptors, guys. Do not fear. Take a deep breath. It's okay. We're not taking these guys with the top 4 pick unless something crazy happens and someone's stock rises or drops. But I don't see the Raptors passing up on someone like Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, or Evan Mobley as well. So take a deep breath, Raptors fans. We'll be okay. We're not necessarily taking these guys with the number 4th pick. But I do want to hear your thoughts on just these 2 players in general. What do you think of these 2 players? Where do you think they'll go in the NBA draft? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you guys are still watching this video, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.